Hello friends, I was talking about expansion policy and annexation policy of East India Company, which was controlled by Dalhousie, and according to that Dalhousie's policy, we have talked in our last lecture that some policy by anarchies, by disallowing the king to adopt someone's son, or by defeating the king in wars. The another ways to follow the annexation policy, Dalhousie adopted that denying for namesake rule. See, these 2 points which I am discussing right now is not given in your textbook. But in the actual study of the policy of annexation, the data has been given. That the 5 ways. But in your textbook, the 3 ways have been given. And the another 2 ways which I am going to discuss now are not given in your textbook. But as a part of the topic, you must have to keep in your mind. So let us continue. That by denying for namesake rule. Now the question may come, what is the meaning of namesake rule? The meaning of namesake rule means the rule is being done by the Britisher and the order is being passed to control the people by the kings. So actually the order are being prepared by the Britisher and the kings have to just sign it. For signing the orders and maintaining the administration under the king's rule, Britishers were following a system in which they were paying monthly system, the payment on the monthly base or the yearly base to the kings. And in that way, they destroyed some kingdoms by denying or to stop the payment which were they giving to the kings. It means now the power of the king was denied and the whole kingdom of the king was brought under Britishers' control. In that way, they brought the control of the Kanpur under Britishers' rule. And last, the 5th way of bringing the kingdom in their own control, the 5th way was annex the kingdom by denying to accept relaxation for paying dues in future. Means if any king had some dues to pay, dues means the earlier payment was yet not paid, is called dues. So such dues which king has to pay to the Britishers, if that king is not paying, in that situation they deny to give time and take the control of that kingdom in their own rule and brought it in British regions. So in that way they brought the control over Warad region of the Nizam, Hyderabad, for due of 72 lakhs rupees, which Nizam had to pay for the earlier payments were yet not completed, about subsidiary alliance system which he agreed to pay to the British Army for maintenance of the army. For that due payment. Britishers took the control of Varad region. So now you understand. The Britisher had taken the way anyhow, bring the region in their own control. Now you understand clearly that Britishers took the way to control the any kingdom, find out the reason and brought the kingdom in their own control. This is the basic sense behind the British system to control the Indian kingdoms. Okay, now here I discussed with you with complete detail about policy of annexation has been completed. Again you keep the 5 points in your mind. First, for reason of anarchy, annex the kingdom. Second, for reason of defeating king by war. Third, for reason that the king has not legal heir or the natural son in his place. After the death the king, he may come and stop to accept his claim for successor as being adopted. So they deny for that. The fourth reason, they annex the kingdom for not payment of the earlier dues. And fifth, which I have said, they deny for namesake rule. So in these 5 methods, they annexed different kingdoms. Okay friends, so here the content relating to the policy of annexation has been completed. Now I am discussing the next point is of the chapter, reforms in administration brought by Dalhousie. So the first point for the reforms that Dalhousie was thinking to support to the British traders. Anyhow, to create huge profit from Indian market. Okay. Also, the trade of tea, coffee and cotton by capturing the area from Indian farming regions for producing the same commodities and selling it on the larger scale to their own country in the cheap rate. It means anyhow take the profit is the main intention, and to consolidate the British rule in India and to make the administration system run smoothly, he brought some changes. The first change he brought was established railway in India for the process of transportation. He did between 18 in the year of 1853 between Mumbai to Thane. This was the first railway started in India. The second change he brought, modern postal system. I repeat, modern postal system for post and telegraph, the wireless system he established between India and England. So the messages sending process become fast. Today there is a mobile we have, but in those days there was no other communication way. And in that day and the situation, he established this wireless system. It was a big change for the messaging method. Okay. In his tenure means term, he passed some laws like to ban child marriage and support widow remarriage. See, this is the change which Indians, the Orthodox Indians, not liked. Understand? The Orthodox people were supporting to the old traditions. So the child marriage was a part of the caste system or the old tradition, and widow remarriage was not allowed anyhow in Indian and Hindu religions and the other religions also. So when they supported. They start to support to widow remarriage. It was a direct blow to the social and religious system of Indian culture. Okay. As they support to ban to the child marriage, it was also a biggest blow to the Indian tradition of the orthodox lifestyle. So these things had created provocation of anger in Indians against Britishers. Okay, thereafter he allowed the English education system at the college level. So the first three colleges and the universities have been established in India during the Dalhousie's rule in 1857. Actually, in 1856, Dalhousie left the India, but in continuation to this process, he supported the system in which he allowed and laterly the colleges started. Okay, now you understand one thing, that in India this was a big change was coming to Indian traditions, and this tradition was allowed by Britishers. This change was coming in the tradition, that the English education started, that the ban on the social laws which were considered as the evil customs. So this was a blow to the social orthodox lifestyle. Okay, another thing I want to discuss, that where the university started, Mumbai, Madras and Calcutta. So today there are so many colleges and universities, but when these colleges and universities started, it was a beginning period. So the beginning of the colleges, it was a big thing, and in those days it was done. So it shows that it was the biggest change brought in the Indian people for establishing control over India by the English speaking community to establish who were supporting Britishers. This was the biggest change what the Britishers were expecting to bring in India. Okay, now you understand one thing, that these all changes, how much it affected to the Indian system. As we have understood that the biggest blow to the social customary lifestyle, right? Okay, thereafter the political change was also made a dissatisfaction within the people. So now you understand how and in which situation the dissatisfaction arised against Britishers in Indians. So understand this. The two policies, remember, subsidiary alliance system and policy of annexation by Dalhousie. Who established the subsidiary alliance system? You know that. Wellesley. Who established policy of annexation now? You know that. Dalhousie. And also in continuation to this, he adopted the divide and rule policy to break the unity of Marathas. So remember, this is also third policy in continuation to each other. So all the policies are interconnected to each other, and ultimately these changes shook the Indian political foundations which was established since thousands of years ago. Now the dissatisfaction started to increase in people against Britishers, and so many movies have already been picturized about this. In 1980s, means 80 to 89, one movie was came to India. Indian Hindi movie was Kranti, right? It was about the 1857 revolt. The another movie was Mangal Pandey, The Rising Hero, about 1857 revolt. Also means the revolt of 1857 is the reflection of all these changes brought in the people of India, right? So now I want to discuss why this provocation and revolt rebel started. Due to the destruction of political Indian kings' territories, due to the establishment of dictatorial regime of Britishers under the Governor General's control of East India Company, and with that some reforms which shook the social orthodox system. So all these things reflected in a larger proportion, and it reflected to us by our social system was failed, and western education, post and telegraph, the railway, these all changes created a big impact over the Indian lifestyle. So understand one thing, that today we can say that the transportation became easy due to the railway. Today we can say that the messaging system was started to change by the wireless telegraphs. Today we can say that the education started by the English way brought the biggest change in Indians. So it is not out of the acceptance in today's days, in today's situation, but when and about which situation we are talking. In those days, these changes were not acceptable by traditional, orthodox, customary lifestyle living people. So all those people felt that British wanted to destroy our culture. And the reforms, as the British mindset brought to India only to make their administration activities smooth, not to give facilities to the Indian. See, here I want to add one point. As by railway started, you think they destroyed the caste based sitting arrangement. Everybody has to sit together. Today you are also going by the railways. Are you asking to your co-passenger in the same coach sitting with you that what's your his or her caste? No, nobody is asking, because the traveling is the simple thing. Today we are not asking these things, but in those days, to sit with the lower caste person, it was a biggest blow to the mindset of the orthodox customary lifestyle living people. So in that way, this situation brought a biggest blow to the Indian social customary lifestyle having orthodox people, and in that way, when the situation reached to the blow, it was converted into the revolt of 1857 or freedom movement of 1857. So remember one thing, the whole fight was not just to fight against the British control, but in those days when this fight started, it was against British control over Indian social religious lifestyles, which was originally continued since thousands of years, hundreds of years, and generations of the Indian tradition have been adjusted with those old traditions, and now this was a blow to their lifestyle. So they denied it and converted into the rebellion or the freedom movement of 1857. Okay, my friends, I conclude the chapter number 4. Okay, friends.